Hey gang, so today we are looking at quite possibly the smallest fidget toy I have ever been sent by Big White EDC. It's the 3 Little Armor by KFS EDC in stainless steel. Currently listed at $125, and if you use code FidgetFix, you get 10% off. Okay, this is absolutely the tiniest fidget spinner I have ever held, ever reviewed, ever seen. Seriously, this thing is ridiculously small. Now it's got some features that kind of work, and I think that's worth exploring. So let's get a real close-up look at the 3 Little Armor. Let's go. Okay, here we go with the 3 Little Armor. And when I say little, like, they are not exaggerating. This thing is microscopic. This is so small. It looks huge because I'm really zoomed in. But if I put this in the palm of my hand and zoom out, imagine your hand, and now put something this small into your hand. Like, this is the size of a quarter. That's how small it is. But I'm going to stay zoomed in so that we can actually see what we're looking at here. All right, let's get started. Okay, what's in the box? Well, we get some accessories. We get a tool. We get some replacement accessories here. I call them accessories. They're not really accessories. They're just parts that you need. The one accessory, though, that is an accessory is this little glow-in-the-dark little collar here, which absolutely glow in the dark. And so from what I see, or what I imagine, you just put this inside on one of these sides, which we'll look at when we get into the internals. The other thing you get, which is pretty interesting, is this metallic COA. So this is literally, I think it's just a piece of steel. No. Oh, I'm wrong. It's not steel. Maybe it's aluminum. That would make more sense. That would make more sense, I guess, cost-wise. But it is not steel. Okay. Very cool, though. Very unique. A little ragged around the sides. Would have been nice if this was polished down. You could almost use it when working with fidgets. There's a lot of times where I need a flat metal plate to kind of push down a spring and ball as I'm closing something. I don't know if I would use this, though, because of the scratched surface or the rough surface. Maybe I'll smooth it down with some sandpaper or something. But yeah, it's neat. Okay, playability. Well, this is a regular spinner. It also has a function. Now, I'm going to see if I can do this. It's really tough to do this on such a small piece with like a camera lens. So what this has are these 3, we've seen these in spinners before, just never this size. But it has these 3 expanding wings that pop out. I don't know, can I get all 3 out? There we go. So if you're amazing at spinners and you kind of really, really send this, you can get all 3 of these little wings snapping out. I can't. I am not good enough to do it. I can get like 1 or 2, but then that gives me a really weird spin. Like, it's not centered at all. And I don't know if it's the most comfortable thing to try to get to do, because then you're really, really pressing in on your thumb. And the buttons on these are so small that it's really kind of tough to get it to work. So it's cool. It's a cool feature. But I feel like it's a bit of a miss because of how hard it is to get these things to fly open. Now, with these screws here, I'm going to guess that maybe if we loosen these up, we can get these to fly out a little better. So we'll try that out during the internals. Although, again, it's not that it's coming from here. It's coming from inside. So let's wait and see. Okay, so I'm going to do a haptics section on this spinner because it has these little wings that fly out. The problem is it's inconsistent because I can't get it to consistently fly out. So I never know when those haptics are going to kick in. When they do, it's cool. But getting them to do it is pretty tricky. I find you almost have to push not only like to the side to get spin, but you have to push inwards to sort of get it to lift up. And so that's why I didn't do a sound section, because again, it's not consistent. So the haptics and the sound are connected directly on this. When you happen to get a haptic response, you also get the sound at the same time. So again, the whole thing is kind of rare when it works, at least for me. Okay, ergonomics, well, it's an interesting one. It is so small that it's actually not great to play with for me. I think you need really, really small hands to play with this one, because it's like I'm fighting my own fingers trying to get in there to spin it. So this is not for somebody with medium-sized hands or large-sized hands. If you have large-sized hands, run away from this thing. If you have really tiny hands, then this might be interesting. But I do find that I'm digging my fingers into this so much because of the rim. And so the rim just kind of like chews its way into my fingers, because that's all I have to press on is this rim. So I would say though, like ergonomics in terms of the edges, very well done. There's no real sharp edges on here. It's just a small edge. Like this little collar is thin because of how small it is. But it's not sharp, which is nice. Okay, weight. Let's look at the weight in ounces. 1.2 ounces. And 34.2 grams. This thing is mini. Let's look at the size. So in millimeters, at its widest, we're looking at about, well, let's see here. Let's call it 27 millimeters. And in inches, at its widest, it's like an inch. And then height, and I'm actually holding the grips here, the buttons. And we're looking at about 15 millimeters. Again, buttons are typically never measured in inches, so the only thing that really matters is millimeters. Okay, let's look at the internals. So this opens just like a regular spinner, but the insides are a little different. So we have these little washers that sit over the collars, because everything kind of rests on this part, on this little collar here. And on the other side, we have another collar. So you have to be careful because you can lose those because they're hard to see. But what we also have is this little red stopper in the post, which is really interesting. And to be honest, I'm not really sure why that's there. Actually, it probably helps seal the connection, so it's not just metal rubbing on metal. So you have this little rubber gasket in the middle when it closes. I'm going to go with that. If I'm wrong, let me know. If I'm right, let me know. So then we have our bearing inside. And we have these little wings that open up. And you can also see that this is where you would put this little stopper in here, this little glow-in-the-dark ring. So this looks like it sits kind of in here. So you get one side where you would see this glow-in-the-dark. Okay, you know what? We're going to keep that in there. Let's try that when we put it back together. And I'll take one of these wings apart so we can see what's happening in here. Now, the one thing that's nice with when you see parts like this, like a parts kit, what that tells me is because there are no replacement ball and springs, I know I don't have to be as worried taking this apart that I'm going to get a ball and spring flying out. Now I have this very, very tiny little tool. There we go. And that's it. So when this is oh, it's magnetic. There. There. I just sound like a pirate. So these are magnets. That's the magnet here. Okay, so we have a little magnet inside. And when it sits, this is how it closes. So there's no real way to loosen this up. Some of these you can loosen so that they fly a little faster and that the wings open up a little more easily. That's not the case with this one because, again, we're dealing with a magnet holding this together. Which is too bad because, again, it would have been nice to really like dial that in a little bit, the speed at which this can fly out. But maybe if, let's just see, maybe if we just kind of loosen them a little bit, all the screws. I'm just going to go like a quarter turn. Now, of course, we have to be careful that we don't actually lose the screws. So a quarter turn might even be too much. I'm just loosening things up so that they maybe fly out a little more easily. We'll test it and then I'll put it back together. Okay, so it doesn't matter what side it goes on, but let's keep this, you know what? Let's charge it up. Okay, that's good and charged. So we'll pop that in. We'll put this on. And we want to be careful because remember we have that little washer on here that's very, very small, so it can come off very easily. Okay. So this little glow-in-the-dark spacer is interesting, but you don't see it. So, like, what's the point? Your finger covers the whole thing. Here, let's see if we can shut the lights off for a second and see. I mean, we do see it. But again, I don't know if I really get the point of it because it's not in view. I don't know. That feels kind of silly to me. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that just feels like a waste. Let's just take it back out. There's no point to it because you can't see it. So why have it in there? Okay, well. Yeah, and I don't see the wings kind of opening up any better with the loose screws, so I'm just going to tighten those back up. Put that back. Bag. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I mean, everything's back together. It's all working fine. There we go. Okay, final thoughts. This is, I will say this is a gimmick spinner. This is not something that I'm ever going to use. It's too small, and I find that the main little gimmicky features don't work well. The wings don't fly out, at least not for me. Maybe someone who really knows what they're doing, someone who can really give it like a smack can get it going all the time. I definitely can't. So I can't really endorse this if I can't use it. Now, can I? I mean, that would be pretty hypocritical. So I think there are people out there that would probably really like this. I think it's a unique spinner for sure. If you're a big spinner collector, you'd probably want something like this in your collection just to have it. Just to say, you know, look at this. This is the smallest spinner I own. But this is definitely not something for me. I do not enjoy using it. It's awkward. It's small. I tried. I thought, oh, this is kind of cool. No, I find there are other spinners that do this better and bigger. And this is a case where bigger is definitely better. All right, gang. Thanks for watching.